The Galactic Council had studied humanity for 3 cycles before making first contact. They believed they understood everything about the strange bipedal species from the blue planet. Their scientists had watched from orbit, cataloging behaviors, social structures, and technological capabilities. But there was one aspect of human life that fascinated the Council more than anything else: their relationship with domesticated creatures. Ambassador Zixthar of the Valorian Empire stood before the assembled council, his crystalline body refracting the chamber's light into rainbow patterns. He had just returned from Earth with what he believed to be groundbreaking research. "Esteemed members," Zixthar began, his voice resonating through the translation devices, "humans have achieved something remarkable. They have bent other species to their will through a process they call domestication. These creatures, particularly the ones called dogs, obey human commands with absolute precision. This demonstrates a level of dominance and control that we initially underestimated." The council members murmured among themselves. For species that had evolved beyond such primitive relationships with other life forms, this was indeed noteworthy. The Valorians had eliminated all other creatures from their world millennia ago. The Krenathians existed as a hive mind with no concept of individual animal companions. The very idea of keeping another living being for companionship or utility was foreign to most advanced civilizations. "If humans can control other species so completely," added Council Prime Thorakis, "then perhaps they are more dangerous than we assessed, or perhaps more useful as allies." The Council voted unanimously to proceed with formal first contact, confident in their understanding of humanity's nature. 6 months later, the gleaming silver craft descended over Central Park in New York City. The world watched with held breath as the diplomatic vessel touched down on the grass, leaving a perfect circle of flattened earth. Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force stood at the front of the human delegation, flanked by scientists, linguists, and world leaders. The alien delegation emerged in a shimmer of light. Zixthar led the group, his crystalline form catching the afternoon sun. Behind him came representatives from a dozen species, each more bizarre than the last. There were the floating gossamer folk, beings of pure energy contained in magnetic fields. The insectoid Krenathians clicked and chittered in their complex language. The massive Thoraxian lumbered forward on 6 legs, each step causing minor tremors. The first meetings went smoothly. Translation devices worked better than expected. Cultural exchanges began. The aliens were fascinated by human art, music, and literature. Humans were equally amazed by alien technology and philosophy. But the aliens kept returning to one topic: the domesticated animals. "We would very much like to observe these controlled creatures," Zixthar requested during a diplomatic dinner. "Particularly the dogs. Our research suggests they represent the pinnacle of your species' ability to dominate and direct other life forms." Sarah Chen smiled, finding the request odd but harmless. "Of course. We can arrange visits to homes with pets. Many people would be honored to host you." The word pet didn't translate well. In the alien languages, the closest concepts meant subordinate creature or controlled organic servant. This subtle misunderstanding would prove significant. The alien delegation split into smaller groups to visit various human homes. Zixthar's team was assigned to visit the suburban home of the Martinez family, who owned a golden retriever named Buddy. The other team, led by the insectoid observer Klecht, would visit Jennifer Hartwell, a software engineer who lived alone with her cat. At the Martinez home, Zixthar and his team witnessed exactly what they expected. 10-year-old Miguel called out, "Buddy, sit!" and the golden retriever promptly sat, tail wagging enthusiastically. "Buddy, shake!" and the dog offered his paw. "Buddy, fetch!" and the dog bounded after a thrown ball, returning it faithfully. The aliens were deeply impressed. Zixthar recorded everything, noting how the dog responded instantly to vocal commands, how it seemed to anticipate the family's needs, how it displayed what humans called loyalty and affection. "Remarkable," Zixthar observed. "The creature has been completely programmed to respond to specific sound patterns, and it appears to derive satisfaction from obedience. This is a level of biological engineering we have not encountered." Mr. Martinez laughed. "It's not engineering. It's just training and thousands of years of breeding. Dogs want to please us. They're pack animals, and they see us as their pack." This explanation aligned perfectly with the aliens' theories about human dominance. They left the Martinez home confident in their understanding. Meanwhile, across town, Observer Clicked and her team arrived at Jennifer's apartment. Jennifer had been thrilled to be selected for alien contact, though she worried about her cat, Mr. Whiskers. The orange tabby was not known for his social skills or cooperation. "Welcome to my home," Jennifer said, ushering in the aliens. Clicked had to duck through the doorway, her mantis-like body folding in ways that seemed to defy physics. Two smaller gossamer beings floated in behind her, their energy fields dimmed to avoid interfering with electronics. "We are grateful for this opportunity," clicked, her translator rendering it in English. "We wish to observe your controlled creature. Our colleague has reported fascinating obedience displays from the dog species. We understand you possess a different variety, called a cat." Jennifer bit her lip. "Well, yes, that's Mr. Whiskers over there." She pointed to the windowsill where an orange tabby lay stretched in the afternoon sun, completely ignoring their arrival. Claked approached slowly, her multifaceted eyes analyzing the creature. "It is smaller than the dog species, perhaps more efficiently designed for subservience?" Not exactly," Jennifer said carefully. "Demonstrate its obedience protocols, please," Clicked requested, pulling out a recording device that looked like a floating crystal. Jennifer took a deep breath. "Mr. Whiskers, come here." The cat's ear flicked slightly. Otherwise, no response. "Mr. Whiskers?" Jennifer called again, a bit louder. The cat yawned, showing impressive fangs, then tucked his paws under his body more comfortably. Cleek's antennae twitched in confusion. "Perhaps the command syntax was incorrect? Try again with more emphasis." "Mr. Whiskers, come," Jennifer said firmly. The cat opened one eye, looked directly at her with an expression of pure disdain, then closed it again. The gossamer beings pulsed with what their translator rendered as confusion. "Is the creature malfunctioning? Should we alert your medical services?" "No, he's fine. He's just being a cat," Jennifer explained, feeling her cheeks flush. "Cats are more independent than dogs." "Independent," Clicked repeated, testing the word. "You mean it has not been fully programmed? The domestication process is incomplete?" "It's not about programming," Jennifer tried to explain. "Cats aren't like dogs. They were never really domesticated the same way. They're more like roommates who occasionally tolerate us." This statement caused immediate alarm among the alien observers. Their translation devices struggled with the concept. Click's body language shifted to what humans would recognize as agitation. "You are saying this creature lives with you but does not obey commands? This was not in our research data." "Well, yeah, that's cats for you." Jennifer walked over to the window and reached out to pet Mr. Whiskers. The cat allowed exactly 3 strokes before batting at her hand with claws retracted, then jumping down and stalking toward the kitchen. The aliens followed, fascinated and disturbed. Mr. Whiskers went to his food bowl, sniffed it, then looked back at Jennifer and meowed loudly. "What is it communicating?" asked one of the gossamer beings. "He wants dinner, even though I fed him 2 hours ago." Jennifer checked her watch. "Okay, maybe it has been closer to 3 hours." "And will you comply with its demands?" Clicked asked, her tone suggesting this was a crucial observation. "I mean, yeah, he gets cranky if he's hungry." The aliens watched in stunned silence as Jennifer opened a can of cat food and spooned it into the bowl. Mr. Whiskers sniffed it, took one small bite, then walked away. "It has rejected the offering," Clicked noted, recording frantically. "Is this a dominance display?" "No. He's just being picky. He'll come back to it later. Maybe." Over the next hour, the aliens attempted to interact with Mr. Whiskers. They tried vocal commands, which the cat ignored. They tried hand gestures, which earned them blank stares. One of the gossamer beings attempted to use a low-level electromagnetic field to get the cat's attention, which resulted in Mr. Whiskers hissing and leaving the room entirely. "This is unprecedented," Klecht announced. "We were told humans had mastered the control of other species, yet this creature displays complete autonomy. It ignores commands, makes demands of its own, and shows no signs of subservience whatsoever." Jennifer couldn't help but laugh. "You guys really thought we had everything under control, huh? Mr. Whiskers doesn't obey because he doesn't want to. That's what makes him a cat." "But why do you maintain this arrangement?" Click demanded. "What purpose does this creature serve if it provides no utility or obedience?" Jennifer thought about it. "He's soft. He purrs when he's happy. Sometimes he sits on my lap while I work. He's good company, even if he's a jerk most of the time. You cohabitate with a being that provides minimal utility and refuses to acknowledge your authority?" The alien's translator couldn't quite capture her tone, but it sounded like disbelief mixed with dawning horror. "I mean, when you put it like that, it sounds weird. But yeah, basically, he's my buddy, even if he pretends he doesn't need me." As if to prove Jennifer's point, Mr. Whiskers chose that moment to saunter back into the room. He looked at each alien in turn with his green eyes, seemed to assess them as unimportant, then jumped onto Jennifer's lap. He circled 3 times, kneaded her legs with his claws until she winced, then settled down and began purring. The aliens stared. "See?" Jennifer said softly, gently stroking the cat's fur. "He does this on his terms, when he wants to, and somehow that makes it better." That evening, the alien delegation reconvened at their ship. Zixthar was excited to share his findings about the obedient and loyal dogs. Then Kleekt presented her report about the cat. The entire delegation fell silent. "You are certain of these observations?" Zixthar asked finally. "Completely certain. I have multiple recordings. The creature demonstrates autonomous decision-making, ignores direct commands, makes independent demands, and yet the human maintains the relationship willingly." "This changes everything," announced Council Prime Thorakis, who had been monitoring the reports from orbit. "We assumed humans had bent nature to their will. Instead, they have formed a symbiotic relationship with a creature that refuses to be dominated. They coexist with chaos." "Not just coexist," corrected the Gossamer representative. "They seem to prefer it. The human expressed more affection for the disobedient cat than the Martinez family showed for their obedient dog." Over the following weeks, the aliens expanded their research. They visited homes with cats of all varieties, Persian cats that knocked objects off tables while maintaining eye contact, Siamese cats that yowled at 3 a.m. for no apparent reason, alley cats that came and went through windows as they pleased. Each observation reinforced the same conclusion. Humans had not conquered nature, they had made peace with it, even in its most stubborn and uncooperative forms. The final diplomatic session took place in the UN building. The alien delegation presented their revised assessment of humanity. "We came here believing you were a species of dominators," Zixthar announced. "We saw your dogs and assumed you had mastered the art of control. But your cats have taught us the truth. You are not conquerors. You are adapters. You find value in relationships that offer no guaranteed return. You show affection to creatures that may or may not reciprocate. You tolerate chaos and independence in others. Captain Chen listened carefully, sensing this was leading somewhere important. "This makes you either incredibly foolish or incredibly wise," Zixthar continued. "We have not yet determined which, but it makes you unique among all species we have encountered. The Galactic Council wishes to propose not just an alliance, but a learning exchange. You have something to teach us about coexistence, about living with the uncontrollable." The negotiations that followed lasted months, but they were built on a foundation of genuine curiosity and respect, rather than assumptions of dominance. The aliens sent observers to study not just human technology, but human relationships with animals, with nature, with each other. And in return, humanity gained access to the stars. Years later, when the first human embassy opened on the Valorian homeworld, Ambassador Rodriguez brought a gift for Zixthar: 2 kittens, 1 tabby, and 1 calico. "I don't understand," Zixthar admitted, looking at the small creatures in their carrier. "Why would you give me beings that will not obey?" Rodriguez smiled. "Because you've spent your whole life around beings that do exactly what they're programmed to do. Maybe it's time you experienced something different. Something that challenges you, something that sits on your data pads when you're trying to work and knocks your beverages off tables." Zixthar watched as the calico kitten stared at him with enormous eyes, then very deliberately turned her back to him. "I see," he said slowly. "This is a diplomatic challenge." "Think of it as an education," Rodriguez replied. 6 months later, Zixthar sent a message back to Earth. It consisted of a single video: his crystalline form sitting at a desk, trying to work while the tabby kitten attacked his fingers and the calico slept on his keyboard. The message was simply titled, "I understand now." The video went viral across both human and alien networks. It became a symbol of the new era of cooperation, a reminder that the most important lessons often came from the smallest, most stubborn teachers. Back on Earth, Mr. Whiskers continued his reign of casual indifference, completely unaware that he had changed the course of galactic history. He had more important concerns, like whether his food bowl was full and whether the warm spot of sun on the carpet had moved. After all, cats had never cared much about human affairs. Why should alien affairs be any different?